Future Trunks is without a doubt my favorite character in all of Dragon Ball Z. The guy is an absolute legend. My guy, if you ain't riding with Future Trunks, man, we stomping you out, we stomping your homies out, we stomping your mama out. Everybody who doesn't ride with Future Trunks is getting stomped out. Bro, he's the definition of a sensational character that has a really great character arc and ends it off absolutely perfectly by the end of his entire journey. So to see such a great character absolutely capitulated and pretty much ruined in dragonballsuper is absolutely heartbreaking. I'm gonna break down completely why dragonballsuper completely fumbled the bag with Future Trunks and completely ruined my favorite character. Let's get right into the video, gents. Now, my G, before we even get into the complete and utter character assassination of Future Trunks, I want to talk about the reason why Future Trunks is such a great character in the first place. We're going to consider every single aspect of Future Trunks' conception, the trials and tribulations that he went through, and the reason he was such a G in my eyes, in the eyes of many people such as myself. My G, let's start off right off with the drip. Yo, the minute the Future Trunks pulled up on screen, he was the definition of drip, definition of being a G, definition of being cool. The homie was moving saucy in absolutely everything that he was doing. First of all, let's not even get into what he's done. Let's get right into the fit, homie. Let's get right into the fit. Look at the drip that Future Trunks is rocking immediately when he pulls up. Clean bloody sword, bro. That sword looks clean as hell. Look at the jacket, the capsule corp drip, dude. Whatever drip Trunks was wearing in the entire Cell saga, he was dripped out and looking cool without a doubt. Bro, Akira Toriyama definitely went all out in terms of his character designs throughout this entire arc, bro. From the very time he arrives with the cool jacket, from the very moment he pulls up and goes into his fire Super Saiyan form, the way that his hair is designed, his entire look is absolute flames, my G. Whatever fit you put Future Trunks in, he looks like a G. Bro, peep his fit when he's wearing the Saiyan armor, bro. Looks like a flipping G with that long ass hair. Bro, look at the fit that he is wearing when he completely annihilates and dispatches of the future android when he comes back to his future after getting all the training, after getting all the experience of training with Goku, Kakarot, Gohan, and training with everyone. And look at the drip. Look at the way that he dispatches of his enemies, bro. What a G. Fam, what a great character. And just from his aesthetic, he is the definition of a really good and aesthetically pleasing character. And this is just one of the reasons I like Future Trunks so much. Now, gents, let's consider who he is as a character and why he is such an endearing character that it makes it very easy for us to like and to love him as a person. Now, guys, because we've analyzed his drip and why he is probably the most aesthetically pleasing and cool character that Dragon Ball Z has ever had, let's consider him as a person and consider his character as a whole. Compared to almost every single Dragon Ball Z character, Future Trunks has probably gone through the most difficult path in comparison to anybody else. He went through a very, very rough childhood, an entire world that has been absolutely ravaged by the threat of these androids, and the tumultuous upbringing that he went through, and him seeing future Gohan being killed in front of his eyes is a great motivator and a reason for him to become a ruthless and horrible person. But he still maintains his kindness. He's still a good person. But when it's time to get cracking, when it's time to take care of business, he does not hesitate, and his childhood is a testament to that. Let's consider his very first arrival when he pulls up here in the present day before Goku comes back and arrives after his awesome fight with Frieza. He immediately pulls up and completely slaps the hell out of Frieza and King Cold. Bro, this homie doesn't waste no time powering up, toying, enjoying the fight. Absolutely not, bro. He is the definition of what any other real person, a real character, or a realistic person would do in this situation. He isn't this power hungry or a person who just loves fighting. Hell nah. He's here to dispatch of the enemy as quickly and as efficiently as possible, my G. Yo, Frieza got diced up, my guy. Diced into pieces, bro. He julienned the steak, my G, and completely ravished him. He even thought he was gonna give King Cold a bit of a, let me pass him my sword. Maybe King Cold will have a decent fight. Gave him a little bit of hope. Nope. Nope. Completely dispatched of him in a couple of seconds afterwards, bro. Trunks, as soon as he arrived, he is this mysterious, awesome Super Saiyan warrior who completely annihilates his enemies without fail, bro. Even when he pulled up and scrapped with Goku, I was like, hey, yo, this homie is a G. Fam. Just look at the way Trunks fights Goku, and then he, as I'm saying, bro, everything that Future Trunks does is saucy, G. Look at how the sword goes back into its hilt like a G, bro. Dude, everything about his character is absolutely cool. And as we continue to see him develop and interact with the other characters in this arc, it's very interesting for him to interact with his father. And you can see that while he's in general, a very cool, relaxed, and a G of a character, when he's with his father, he's a little bit different. He's got more respect. He's trying to build rapport with his father. He's trying to get that validation from his father. So his father definitely has a whole lot more leeway than other characters would in certain situations. But it's things like this, and especially the moments, I would say, that shows his character, that shows who he is, that even though he dearly respects his father and wants his validation, when push comes to shove, when he sees that a decision needs to be made, he's gonna make the decision. I immediately want you guys to cast back to the time when Vegeta wanted to allow Future Cell to power up to his absolute full power. Future Trunks, even though he respects his father, he's like, hell nah. Hell nah, am I gonna let the future that happened to me and my people happen down here? He even blasted his own pops, bro. Like, I don't know. I think I need to put it into context, guys. That's like slapping your dad in the face, bro. That's how serious the thing that Future Trunks did, and he did it like an absolute G. He had to oh hell nah, bro. I'm not letting you do this dumb-ish. Come on, dog. And it was so cool to see him and see that character development. Even though he wants to be loved and get the validation from his father, the greater good is always gonna come first, and he's always gonna do what needs to be done. Every single time we saw Future Trunks in DBZ, also in the BoJack Unbound movie, where we saw Future Trunks with that cool long hair and his cool character design, he's the definition of a character on a mission. He ain't here to play games. If Trunks was the person to unlock Super Saiyan 2 first, Goku would not have died, because he would have dispatched of Cell immediately, as soon as possible. So now, guys, we've considered the type of person that Future Trunks is. He's a boy who grew up throughout and had experienced a very difficult childhood, a very tumultuous past. He dealt with a lot of death and destruction throughout, living in fear throughout the entirety of his life. But because of that, he became hardened. He was still kind, though. He became hardened, though, ruthless, and when needed be, he had to take care of business. He is a man on a mission, a determined man who's willing to do whatever needs to be done to take care of the mission. Now, this is why it's important, and why it's even so much more offensive to see the complete character regression of Future Trunks in Dragon Ball Super. Now, as I started out this video, I immediately talked about the drip and the sauciness and how aesthetically pleasing Future Trunks was as a character. As soon as you looked at him, you saw that, yo, I'm rolling with the G. I gotta make sure my game is on point. Now, the very reason that Future Trunks was even brought back in Dragon Ball Super was definitely because of fan service. Dragon Ball Super has a whole myriad of issues that I'm not really interested in getting into today, but there are a number number of issues mainly consisting of fan service and continuity. Out of all things, Dragon Ball Super is definitely a show that's more so a fan service machine, a way in which they can sell more toys. It's definitely much more of a cash cow than it is of a story that is compelling and an idea and character stories that need to be told. It's just in my opinion, a reason to just keep the story going and to introduce a new demographic and a new generation of children to Dragon Ball Z. And that's honestly my issue with it, and because of that, there are a number of issues that come from the entire experience. Now, let's consider the Future Trunks arc in itself. Before we even consider that in itself and the way that his character changed, let's consider the drip. The drip that Future Trunks had is completely gone, my G. Like, bro, the drip is gone. Like, completely gone. Let's consider the character design that we have of Future Trunks by the end of the Cell Saga, and consider Future Trunks that we have here in the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. Now noted, guys, of course, there are going to be some artistic differences because it's a different animator, they're different artists, it's a completely, different style, the times have changed. Of course, the art style is going to be a little bit different, but this is a completely different character, completely. Firstly, from the hair color, which makes absolutely no sense. Why did his hair change from purple to blue? That completely makes no sense. The only possible reason you could give me is so we can differentiate between Future Trunks and the small Trunks that we have in DBS, but even that makes no sense because the Trunks in Dragon Ball Super is still a child, completely unnecessary, and the child Future Trunks still has purple hair. Continuity is definitely not respected in Dragon Ball Super at all, and I'm gonna mention some of this as we continue in this discussion. Firstly, aesthetically, there's been a complete character change in his style. All the gains, my G. Bro, by the time after Trunks had left the hyperbolic time chamber alongside Vegeta, these guys were huge. They were bulked up, they had made huge gains, and they were absolute cheese in terms of body-wise, in terms of experience, in terms of demeanor, everything about them. They were more confident and they were much more powerful than they were before. Future Trunks we have here in terms of body structure, muscles and everything has absolutely shrinked. Completely doesn't make sense to me why he shrinked to such a degree, and it's different. It's not like the way that Super Saiyan 2 Gohan had shrinked, not necessarily shrinked. He was a young and small boy in the first place, so he didn't really have much mass in the first place, so it really doesn't make sense why he would switch over to this character design. It just genuinely doesn't make sense to me, and in my opinion, in general, he is just a less aesthetically pleasing character, even from the clothes that he's wearing. Another thing that I have an issue with is, now that we've considered the drip, this has definitely been a downgrade. He's definitely lost a number of his gains. He's been doing a whole lot more cardio, clearly a lot more CrossFit, clearly losing calories, losing muscle. So that's obviously an L. But most importantly of all, in my personal opinion, his demeanor has completely changed, my G. And it's really disappointing to see this change in his personality. Now, of course, in the beginning of the arc, he was a G, and there were times where he wasn't a decisive and very strong-willed character at times, but by the end of the show, and when he finally dispatched of Android 18 and 19, he was an absolute G, and he was essentially Earth's savior and main hero. To see his demeanor completely change just because there's this huge big bad, while I will grant Zamasu and Gokublack are very, very, very formidable enemies, for his demeanor to completely change to become little child all over again, when honestly by this point it's been a couple of years. Like, Future Trunks possibly at this age is maybe nearing even 30 years old, and he's still acting like a complete child. Come on dog, you need to move. It just doesn't make sense to me. And the only thing that would make sense, and the reason that Dragon Ball Super would go in this direction, is to try and appeal to a more younger audience so they can appeal more to Future Trunks. This is honestly why in a lot of animes, a large amount of characters aren't muscular, even though they're very strong in terms of their abilities. And this is really the only reason that would make sense to me, so that Future Trunks just seems younger, more appealing to a lot more characters. That's honestly maybe some of the reason why they even wanted to make Gohan the main character, character so they could continuously relate to a younger audience, because that is kind of their target market. But of course they ended up not going with that, and they chose to continue to go with Goku as being the main character. Now, because of all of these factors that I've just mentioned, bro, like Future Trunks, when you look at him, bro, he's just looking like a scrub, bro. He's not impressive at all. He's not exciting at all. Now, granted, there has been a whole new level of power that has been unlocked. So, granted, he's going to be weak and, I guess, more feeble in comparison to the other characters in the show. But giving him an inconsequential and ridiculously and inexplainable power-up is not a solution for you to bring Future Trunks back to his glory, bro. Super Saiyan Rage, bro? Dude, this is why, shout out to the homie Kwaman who makes some really good Dragon Ball Z content, and I was watching a video of his and he was like, bro, back when I was watching Dragon Ball Super, somebody needs to be hired to be a continuity expert to ensure that the decisions that are made in the manga and in the anime are continuous and ensure that the power scaling, the fabric of everything that's involved remains consistent and makes sense. Making Future Trunks to be a character that is able to go toe to toe with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, absolutely makes no sense, no matter how angry he is. At least give us some sort of explanation to explain, okay, why is Future Trunks so powerful now? Where is all of this power coming from? What is the reason? Is it something that's happened to him? Is it because he was exposed to characters that have this God key that he's been able to unlock this special form? At least give us some sort of explanation or reason to explain where this power comes from. This is an issue that we didn't have back in Dragon Ball Z. Still, bro, there are a number of unexplained questions that need to be answered and probably will be answered in Dragon Ball Super. For me personally, one of the things that still bother me to this day, where the hell did Vegeta get his God key? Where did Vegeta get his God key? Because from what we understand, gents, from and explained by the Super Saiyan God Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods movie, the only way in which for a Saiyan can attain God key is through the Super Saiyan God ritual, and only Goku has gone through that ritual. How come Vegeta now has access to God Key? If it's because of Whis and a special training regimen, why didn't they just do that in the first place and give it to Goku so he can fight Beerus without the Super Saiyan God transformation? Why is it that out of nowhere, now Vegeta now has access to this God Key just because he's chilling and kicking it with Whis, bro? Like, at least give us some sort of explanation, a sentence that explains to us why this is happening. And unfortunately, this trend continues throughout all of Dragon Ball Super. Let's consider how the Zamasu and Gokublack arc was concluded. There were about perhaps 30 people, and Future Trunks used Super Saiyan Rage alongside with a sword spirit bomb to defeat the fusion of Zamasu and Gokublack. Absolutely ridiculous. Zamasu and Gokublack were not defeated by Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta. No, they were defeated by Super Saiyan 2 or your Super Saiyan Rage, Future Trunks, and using a spirit bomb with the key of about 30 people who aren't even people of a substantial power level, bro. That spirit bomb is not gonna have any substantial worth, bro. Like, bro, back in Dragon Ball Z, by the end of Dragon Ball Z, everybody on Earth, and I think maybe a couple of other planets, only then were they able to create a Super Saiyan, a spirit bomb that was able to defeat Kid Buu. Bro, a spirit bomb of that strength, the spirit bomb that defeated Kid Buu, is absolutely inconsequential considering the God key that we're dealing with in this current arc. So there are a number of issues, and this trend continues to the character and the way in which they butchered Future Trunks. He is no longer a character that is a G. He is no longer a character that you can look forward to and see, definitely Trunks is going to take care of business. He's going to be moving like a G. There are so many holes throughout his entire story. His character is no longer the same. He's just not that great of a character anymore, and this entire arc unfortunately just ruined it. And as I said before, Dragon Ball Super is genuinely and feels like just a vehicle for fan service and a way in which to make money off toys and all of this stuff. And without a doubt, I'm sure they made a whole lot of money and a big bag off that Super Saiyan Rage transformation, but it's still unexplained. How is Future Trunks this powerful? What happened to the person that he was? Why isn't he moving like a G anymore? Why was his character design changed to such a degree? What in the world has happened? Why was the reason that all of these decisions were made? What is the return on investment? These changes, did they make the character more interesting? Did they make the character more aesthetically pleasing? Did these changes give or show Future Trunks substantial character development throughout the years? In my opinion, absolutely not. There are no benefits to the multitude of changes that have been made to Future Trunks, and which is why I have an overall huge issue with this entire arc as a whole, and why I see it as a complete downgrade for the future, from the Future Trunks that we had in Dragon Ball Z to the Future Trunks that we had in Dragon Ball Super. So yeah, man, those are my thoughts on Future Trunks, and overall I'm just disappointed, man. He's no longer the G, and if we consider the Future Trunks in Dragon Ball Super, he's without a doubt definitely not my favorite character in Dragon Ball at all, or in the entire Dragon Ball verse, because he's just a height, bro. He's just a height. And Kakarot's Goku has unfortunately gone through a similar treatment because they've made him a little bit more childish, a little bit more goofy. I don't know, people have said it's because of the dub, because of the English dub, it made him seem more mature, but I disagree. Just the writing and everything that was executed, Goku was moving like an adult in Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Super, he's honestly moving like an overgrown child, and unfortunately this trend has extended to every single character except maybe Vegeta. That's pretty much it, bro. But everybody else has unfortunately gotten negative treatment as a whole in terms of character. And there's been literally zero character development for any of the characters since Dragon Ball Z, which is absolutely ridiculous. How are we not changing over these years, bro? Like, what is going on, bro? Like, while people give Dragon Ball GT a whole lot of flack and a whole lot of pushback, at least characters changed. At least Goten and Trunks grew up. At least things changed. Like, Vegeta by the end of Dragon Ball Z was a little more mellow. By the end of Dragon Ball, by the time we got to Dragon Ball GT, he's absolutely moving like a human. Like, Vegeta is almost as nice as Goku by the end of it all, bro. Like, these people changed, bro. But to see that all of this, to see real developments for these characters, and to see character regression, character assassination for such a really good and great character, it's honestly disappointing. And in my opinion, after seeing what they did with Future Trunks, it would have been better if they had just left him alone and completely closed that chapter in the Cell games. But guys, those are my thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you guys were you happy with the way Future Trunks was handled? Do you feel that, hey, maybe I'm just overreacting, maybe I'm the one who's bugging? Tell me your thoughts down there in the comments. More videos like this will be on the way. If you guys want more Dragon Ball Super videos, tell me. I definitely can make them, and I have a number of more opinions, more controversial opinions on that show, a number of issues, a lot of issues with that show, and there's definitely a lot more content and stuff to talk about in that series. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Take it easy. Enjoy your day, gents.